Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you a reading for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for love for the week of August 16th through August 22nd, 2026. Out of the traditional Rider-Waite deck, we have the Nine of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, the Seven of Wands, the Five of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. So you can see there's a lot of wands coming in, a lot of fire energy coming in, really feeling as though this is a time for you to, with the two tens, really change things up. An ending of a cycle is kind of coming, and that's really what I'm feeling with this. Now, the song that I hear with this is the REM song, and the lyrics go, "It's the end of the world as we know it, but you feel fine," right? I think that you have been completely unbothered by a connection ending, right? Crumbling, falling away, and you're willing to let this connection go because maybe you believed that it wouldn't even make it in the first place, right? Maybe you didn't necessarily feel it as deeply as you hoped that you would, but you stayed out of loyalty, right? And perhaps even did truthfully hope that it would make it. And so trying to make it work has felt a lot like settling. And it's an uncomfortable time now because you can no longer allow that to continue, right? You can no longer settle. And so I feel it's time for you to kind of get a grip on the situation. I think that as a result of staying in this energy or with this connection for too long, you could lose sight of what it means to even be in love. Perhaps you are losing sight of who you are within this dynamic as well. So, when you stayed out of loyalty, you just stayed because you wanted to keep peace, right? Perhaps there was an initial spark and it kind of faded, but you were kind of hoping to rekindle that or hoping that that would come back, right? So, moving through this energy as it kind of falls away now, it's important for you to spend a lot of time around water. I could see someone sitting at a lake, right? Being near the water is going to help you to heal what's broken. Okay. I think that that's really helpful in helping your nervous system to reset, right? And to realize as you work through some of those emotions there that there's safety in letting things go, right? The older version of you, the version that you showed up in that relationship as, that version of you is starting to fall away. And that's okay, because what happens when that happens is you create space for the new and for who you are becoming. And there's nothing to fear in that. Okay. I think you did lose yourself, and now would be a time because you want to see that love that you're hoping to rekindle within yourself or finding your identity. You could choose to spend some time with others where love can be reflected back to you, right? So, this is getting back to your family, getting back to your roots, really allowing yourself to be surrounded by those that give you that unconditional love. Okay. I think there might have been a lack of love in that connection. And so, this is going to feel a little odd maybe to you as you start to shift into thinking of that coming in as a connection and not just an unconditional love from your family, right? You have lost sense of what a true connection could feel like or should feel like, right? And so this is about letting that all fall away so that these new connections can come in. I think the person that's coming in for you with this connection, I feel it could be a little bit rough around the edges, like a jagged edges, like a rock, a jagged rock, right? I feel as though this person, this could be their first relationship. Maybe they don't necessarily know the rules of the etiquette when it comes to dating. They don't know what to expect. But likewise, it's like you're rediscovering yourself. And so it kind of falls in line, and it's a good space to be in together. And I think that this person could be very blunt. They could tell you like it is, right? And that kind of catches you off guard. Maybe initially you're not really sure how to respond to that. And that's because you have been in a situation where that wasn't really, people weren't open in the connection. Neither of you were open in that connection about your feelings. And so it really it feels good to be around someone who's keeping it real, right? You never really have to question how they feel because they're going to tell you that. But at the same time, you're just not really quite sure how to handle that. And that's okay. I think there's going to be a little bit of confusion in that. And I think that this person has a really great sense of humor. You guys are going to have a lot of fun together. And I think that this person will laugh with you and not at you, right? So you're never going to feel inferior to them. They're going to feel the confusion. You're going to feel the confusion. It's not going to be awkward, right? You're just going to acknowledge it, right? So that it isn't like an elephant taking up the room, but you'll work through it together, right? And I think that's a beautiful space to be in, because that's a good way to test the waters, is with some of that humor. Try to see how this person responds. It helps you to build a connection with that commonality, right, as you're working through some of that. And I think um, because you're both experiencing that confusion, neither of you are intimidated by one another, right? And so it's a beautiful space to come together and meeting each other where you are each at. And so I think this person would be somebody who would really have your back all the time. I think they believe in teamwork. And I also feel like they'll validate your feelings. They see your feelings as valid. And the thing about that is, I feel like in a connection that you had before, you may have had somebody who kind of counteracted your feelings. So when you expressed your feelings, they might have said something to the effect of, "You're overreacting." Maybe they mocked you or picked at you about that. And so that's part of the reason you kind of pulled back, retreated a bit, from that, pulled your energy out of that and kind of stayed to yourself and didn't really openly express those feelings. But going forward in this connection, you're safe. You're absolutely safe to express how you're feeling, and you guys can work through that together, right? And I think it's about you learning to start to trust yourself again when it comes to making your own decisions and following your own path, following your intuition, going into that connection. And understand too that you don't have to agree on everything. The two of you don't have to agree on everything, but you do have to respect one another anyways, or respect each other's viewpoint. And I do think that that's going to work out quite well for you, Sagittarius. So thank you so much for tuning in. I do so hope this helps you on your journey. If you're interested in future readings, don't hesitate to hit that like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. It'd be very helpful if you could let me know in the comments. Say hi, say where you're watching from. I'd love to hear from you. And then, as always, if you're looking for a little bit more clarity on this situation, don't forget to check out the other aspects of your birth chart. You want to check out your sun, moon, rising, and especially your Venus signs. And I'll be back with another read for you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Take care.